Okay, so we're live. Hello. Good afternoon, El Paso. How is everybody doing today? Happy Friday. Me and Michelle here with the Jackie Stevens Real Estate Group would like to welcome Dr. Jose Espinoza and his wonderful staff that decided to join us today. We are so super grateful, guys, that you took the opportunity to join us and, just kind of discuss a little bit of what we're going through. It's just so unknown for all of us right now as parents here with the Socorro Independent School District. Michelle's a parent here. Yes. I'm a parent here. We have our kids that have either graduated or are still in school at the very moment. And, we want to just reach out to the community and the parents and kind of get your insight of what's going on or what to expect this 2020-2021 school year.
Well, thank you. First of all, it says here, teamjackiestevens.com. Just a little promotion for y'all, right? No, thank y'all for having this and to allowing us the opportunity. Just a little bit, as many people already know, some stats about our school district, but just to kind of give you guys an idea, because some people may not know.
Yes.
We have 47,600 students in our amazing district. We have 49 schools. In the state of Texas, the great state of Texas, there's over 1,200 school districts, and we're the 22nd largest school district. And we continue to grow. Our east side, as you know, we continue to grow. Last year, compared to the previous year, we grew about 750 students. And just to kind of give you a perspective, an idea, in my eyes, an ideal elementary school is about 800 students. So we grew again from one year to the next 750. In other words, we basically grew an elementary school.
Yeah.
We have, and our team does an amazing job. Ms. Macias, Ms. Borrego, what we call an overflow system when a school is at capacity. But just to kind of give our awesome community, our parents, an idea, we have schools like Sushuk Elementary that has 1,300 students. 1,300. And again, an ideal school, a good number is about 800. And Sushuk, there's two little boys that sleep at my house that contribute to the problem at Sushuk. My kids go to Sushuk. But we passed a bond in 2017. We're going to be building another school in that area. I mean, the growth amount up East Lake and also over here in the Pebble Hills area is just phenomenal. We continue to grow because, like I tell people, what makes a great community? Great schools, a great school district. So parents want to be part of SISD. That's number one. And obviously we've had a lot of challenges, not only us, but all districts across the country. Yes. But I'll share another little piece of great news. And as I was talking to y'all previously, tonight we're getting ready for a graduation. This class of 2020, they've had it tough. They have missed some of the most fun experiences that somebody will have in their lifetime, which I'm talking about their senior year, prom, and their graduation, their ideal graduation at the Don Haskins Center. They've had it tough. So we wanted to make sure that we gave our students, our seniors, our class of 2020, but also their parents, that moment, that symbolic moment when their child walks the stage, and we had to change it up. We normally have it at the Don Haskins Center. We changed it up to the SAC. Right. We had one last night. We had East Lake High School last night, Montwood tonight, tomorrow night, America's High School. Last week, we had our other amazing schools as well. But it's pretty cool to see our students at the SAC walk that stage, and the parents, they're about 15 yards away instead of at the Don Haskins Center where they may be sitting at the very top next to the pigeons up there. They're here. They get a close-up video and a close-up shot. And I just heard a lot of positive, overwhelmingly comments saying thank you to SISD for allowing this special moment. So looking forward to that tonight. So tonight we got Montwood and tomorrow America's. But yes, with the pandemic, we've had to make a lot of adjustments. Sometimes we'll make a decision, and here comes Texas Education Agency. They've kind of throw a curveball at us, and we had to adjust. Or the city of El Paso, the health department, and all for good reasons that they're making the decisions. And like I tell our parents, I tell our teachers, our principals, that during this time, we got to be ready to pivot on a dime. We got to be able to make adjustments, and we are doing well in my eyes, to keeping up with everything that's going on with the pandemic.
I agree. Those are the reason for this whole entire podcast is the fear. I think there's just a lot of fear and, different insights of who we can trust, who we can not trust with our kids, because we've never been through this before. I've never been through it. None of us have been through this. So, just the guidance and of the support that you have given us, through it all. I guess the whole question is when we start back, when are we starting? Just so that I know the correct dates. Would that be August?
August 17th is when we start.
August 17th. So is that when we will be starting the remote learning at home?
Yes. And to kind of give you an idea, we started planning for this because if you recall, the state shut down in the spring semester. So for the last time we saw our students in our classrooms was March 6th. Yeah. I'll never forget that day. It's a Friday, March 6th. It was in SISD, our annual Western Day wear, where our students and our employees, everybody's wearing their cowboy hats and boots. That was the last day we got together. Then we have intercession, and then the state shut down for the remainder of the year. Yeah. So we've been planning for this upcoming school year for quite a while now. And just to kind of give you an idea of how SISD is kind of leading, but also inspiring people. And, we pushed because we start our school year starts early. Most traditional school years, they start in late August. But I had several conversations with the commissioner of TEA, Mike Morath, and I came out and said, look, our teachers, our students need an adjustment time. They need to be able to adjust to the new way of teaching, which will be done remote. Yes. In other words, I'm a teacher. I'm in my classroom. My classroom may be empty, and I'm seeing my students, my 20 students on the electronic device, on a laptop, on a computer. Yes. So teachers need time to make that, to adjust to that. So I said, look, I already made the announcement, Commissioner. I need 3 weeks. 3 weeks. I said 3 weeks. We're going full remote. So he took it back to the governor, and I thought the governor was going to say no, or his bosses. And he came back and said, okay, guys, I'm going to give all districts in the state of Texas 3 weeks. Since then, he has now expanded it to 4 weeks. So to answer your question, we start August 17th. And for 4 weeks, TEA, the Texas Education Agency, has said you can start 4 weeks of remote instruction. And what that means is the teachers can teach from their classroom, for example, or even a teacher, if they don't feel comfortable coming in, they can teach from home as long as they have, as long as they have, good bandwidth, good internet at home, and so it'll be done virtually. Now, the fourth week, which is after Labor Day, we may have students who do not have internet at home. Just those students, TA said you can bring those students home. So somebody may ask, well, why don't you bring those students in the first 3 weeks? The answer for that is that the local health department, Dr. Ocaranza, I'm sure you have seen him on TV. Great guy, by the way. He's doing a phenomenal job. Him and his department gave a directive that no students in the building till after Labor Day. So we will be starting remote. Hopefully it gets better, and hopefully, because I got to tell people, there is nothing in my eyes that beats students in a classroom with their teacher, where they're seeing their body language, and they're talking to each other. But we are making the best of it.
Yes, we need that human, presence, to be able to talk and speak. And, our kids, they're just, they like to hug. They like to, talk. Are those kind of things that say after the remote learning after 4 weeks, will the parents have the decision to send our children back to school?
Yes. Yes. What after the remote learning, we are giving our parents the option because we fully understand there are parents that got to go to work, and and I cannot be paying the daycare, continue to pay. I got to send my child. So our parents and we asked them to complete a parent scheduling survey to let us know which one of two options that they would choose. Which I want to send my child to the school building, or no, I don't feel comfortable yet. I'm keeping my child at home, and we'll continue the remote learning. So our parents will have the choice. We're going to try to accommodate every single parent just to make sure that they have the peace of mind, but more importantly, make sure our students, make sure our teachers, our employees are safe.
And taken care of, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And the students that do go back to school, how will they be in the classroom? Like, are they going to be how many are going to be in the classroom?
Yes.
Or will there be lunch? Will there be recess?
Good questions. Those are excellent questions because the parents are want to know the answers. Let Ms. Macias kind of jump in. I got to take a break. I talk too much.
I do too.
Thank you, Dr. Espinoza. Yes, we've had our team. We've been meeting weekly. Again, Dr. Espinoza mentioned March. We actually started. We have a safety committee, our district safety committee, and on a weekly basis, they're meeting. And we actually presented to our board just this past Tuesday, and it was 12 of our departments. And what they did is they shared their new normals. So just like you were asking, how are they going to return? We're actually going to be spending more than $1 million in PPE, which single student will have their face mask. We're going to provide them their personal disposable face mask. Just, how kids are, just in case they forget one or it breaks, we'll have some there for them. We're going to provide that for our teachers, hand sanitizer for each of their classrooms. We're also purchasing thermometers. We know that thermometers, they're not a fail safe, but it does provide that sense of safety for everybody that we are going to be doing temperature checks.
Okay.
We're actually going to be purchasing dividers for our little ones. There is research out there that for our smallest students, it's difficult for them to keep their face mask on at all times. So we're going to teach them how to do face mask breaks, and we're going to have little desk dividers for them. And again, recommendation is that for our littlest ones, those are the ones that would benefit from a divider. That way, if they do fidget or they need to, they have a little extra protection. And truly in education, we teach. So we currently have our nurses, they're creating videos to teach everybody how to consistently wash their hands, how to sanitize their area, how to properly believe it or not, there's a method of how to put on and take off your face mask.
Wow. Yeah. I didn't know that.
Yes. So our nurses are doing a great job. They're creating, I think, about 7 to 10 videos on how to teach students, parents, our teachers, how to do all that consistently and safely. Our IT department, again, it's a true team effort. They're actually creating an app where parents are going to be able to tell us on a daily basis, no, my child is not experiencing any COVID-19 symptoms, admitted to school, or yes, my child has COVID symptoms or has been exposed, will be staying home. That information is so important because it's going to go to the campus nurse, to administration, and that way we could follow up with that family, providing guidance. That same app is going to be created for our employees. Currently, we do that manually. Actually, with our supervisors, we let them know, yes, I'm going into work, no problems or no, but now we're actually going to have an app that does that on a daily basis for us. And I could go on and on and on.
We love it though. You can if you wish, because that's why we're just wanting the comfort, of what is actually going to be done in the school classroom.
Yeah. Yes, and again, it's just so important, and it's truly taking a team approach. Dr. Espinoza guided us, and we actually have a new normal task force. It actually includes teachers, parents. It includes some of our daycare providers, our associations. And what we do is we share information that we're developing. They give us feedback. We adjust. For transportation, that before we had little ones right next to each other, buses. They're in a confined space. So in a transportation department, they've actually created social distancing within our buses. As we arrive to the bus stop, we're asking for our elementary students, all parents of elementary children from pre-K through 5th grade, to please be at the bus stop in the morning. That way, in case the child, we are also going to have thermometers there. In case they fail that wellness protocol, they have their parents there to take them back home. And bus drivers, they're being taught in our monitors how to do those wellness conversations, do a little temperature check. Our students are going to be required to have their face mask as they walk into the bus. We'll sanitize them. We'll teach them how to sanitize as they go in. And whenever our bus drivers come back on August 3rd, they're actually going to create social distancing signs, place them on the buses. That way students know exactly where to sit. And that way we're transporting them from home to school and to school from home safely. However, the one thing that we're asking our community is, if you can bring your child to school, please do so. Because we do know that, in our buses, we could only do so much.
Yeah.
You all could help us, that would be greatly, greatly appreciated.
Okay.
You all could help us with that. If you can, even though if you qualify for the bus, of course, we're going to be here for you all. But if you could help us with that, it will truly help, because we've modified our schedules a little bit. Elementary will start at 7:30. Our pre-K 8 and middle school will start at 8:15, and our high schools will start at 9 o'clock. The reason we did the adjusted bell schedules was mainly for transportation. That gives our buses a little bit extra time to do multiple runs to get our students to and from school and home. But if you all could truly help us, if you have the capability of bringing them to school and picking them up, that would help us greatly.
We love that you shared that, Maribel, absolutely, to see if we can, even get carpool if we can safely for other parents or, that need that help or assistance. That's very good information there.
Yes. And going back to the classrooms, we did have one of the questions come in. Can you give us an idea of how many students more or less would be in each classroom?
Yes, on average, it's about 11. It depends on the classrooms. Our amazing principals have already, we had a team that went out there and they put all the signs up. They actually put social distancing, visual, what are they, posters on the floor or adhesives on the floor. And then they actually went into each of the classrooms. And right now we're averaging anywhere from 9 to 13 fit safely within a classroom, 6 feet social distance, which is average of 11. It just depends on the classroom size and the makeup. Our administrators, with the survey that Dr. Espinoza mentioned, as far as a scheduling survey, that's how they're going to be able to see how many students fit safely in each of the classrooms.
Yes.
And our teachers, again, they're amazing. During this time, it's their vacation time, but many of our teachers have actually asked our principals to come in, and they're actually coming in and making sure that their desks are 6 feet. Again, we've already, even for the little ones, we put a little blue tape around, because again, for little ones, all about that
Little ones.
So they have their little barrier, and our teachers are amazing. That's something that, and Ms. Borrego will speak about professional development and how they're teaching our teachers how to be experts in our new virtual teaching.
Exactly. Or helping us too as parents, maybe, Ms. Borrego, if you can tell us more like how, can we as parents be prepared to tell, or what should we start telling our kids as we're getting closer and prepare, to go back to school?
We can.
There we go. Hi, thank you. We're so used to putting it on mute, so that but most definitely. And I think the most important things. I was an elementary principal and a high school principal, and this is true at all age levels. Our kids feed off of us, and so if we have anxiety, if we have fears, if we're angry, our kids feel that and they feed off of us. So it's very important that we have a very positive attitude, that we're constantly communicating with our kids, that we're having those conversations with our kids, that it's going to be okay, that everything in life is about, following the precautions, that if you wash your hands, keep your mask on, do the social distancing, you're going to be okay. We don't want to instill fear in kids because that anxiety, and then and we can have the best teacher in the whole wide world and the best curriculum in the whole wide world, but if our kids don't feel safe, and if they don't feel nurtured, they're not going to learn. They're not going to learn because they're going to be worried about things they shouldn't be worrying about. So they need to know that we, the adults, we're doing the best we possibly can to make it a very safe environment for them, and they have to do their part. And what their part is, keeping their mask on, making sure they're not touching their face, making sure they're washing their hands, and we teach them, and the nurses are going to teach them, and the teachers are going to teach them the ABCs. You wash your hands all around, and you say the alphabet. That's long enough for you to wash your hands. So you go A, B, C, D, all the way to Z. And then you rinse your hands, and little protocols that we're going to teach them. But I think parents, it's important that they have that communication with their kids and that they listen to their kids. They give them that space to be present and to feel comfortable to talk to them about what their fears are. Kids may not have any fears unless they watch a lot of TV or they hear a lot of adults. Kids are very resilient. Kids are very resilient. Yes, very resilient, and so they're gonna really feed off the adults in the world. That's why it's so important. And you hear this a lot on the news. Don't expose your kids to too much information. Don't give them just the facts and what pertains to them that's age appropriate, so that they don't have that anxiety, and that they know that their job is to go to school, and that the adult's job is to help them to stay safe.
Yes. Absolutely. So just trying to talk to our kids, tell them not to be so fearful. They're in good hands, and just kind of feed them that way. Again, because I do agree with you. If they're always seeing negativity on the TV, on the Instagram that the high schoolers do, and are you back? No, yes. We just got to keep them, not fearful. Is that what I'm trying to say? Because
you know what is a good thing? Keep them focused on the positive, on the good. What are you going to learn? Oh, how exciting! You're going to be. Oh, wow, you're starting your high school year. You're going to get a brand new laptop, because freshmen get brand new laptops in school.
Yep.
Oh, wow. What are you having those conversations and asking questions like, what are you looking forward to this year? Well, it's going to be virtual. Having the conversations, because some of the high school kids are going to have a choice. Their parents are going to give them a choice. Do you want to learn remotely? Even middle school kids, or do you want to go back to school? Because they're going to be able to choose, because parents will always have the option to keep their kids at home to learn remotely, even when we open the schools, because we want everybody to feel comfortable. So we're going to have both platforms going at once, the traditional school year and the remote school year. So keeping it positive, having conversations about what they're excited about, what did they learn, how awesome was school today, what did your teacher do, and there's going to be a lot of new this year. So there's going to be a lot of new things to talk about, because there's going to be technology, new approaches to learning. So there's going to be a lot of really good conversations that are going to be able to be had. So focusing on the positive, not the, well, what if this happens? What if that? Staying present and focusing on the positive.
Yes, very good information. Yes. Was there another question?
Yeah, there was a question. As far as how, when the mask wearing, especially of the little ones, how do you think that'll go? I don't want to say enforce it, but how do you guys plan to make sure that we do, keep the little ones with their mask on?
Yeah, and it's just going to be teaching. Again, our nurses are doing those videos, and it's just going to be teaching and allowing them to have a mask break, and teaching them whenever they're doing their independent work, or whenever they're eating, they could take a mask break. Via campus or by the classroom, the teacher might say, okay, let's all social distance, let's go outside, and they'll take a mask break, and then they'll come right back in. So these are all strategies that we're going to be teaching on how to do that correctly, how to sanitize their hands, after they do their mask break. Those of our little ones that are going to have their barrier. We also have face shields. And every single teacher will have a face shield. We also purchase, they're called visible expression masks, because in some of our classes, it's so important. We're visual learners. It's so important for our little ones to see our faces, to see our lips moving, especially when we're doing phonics, when we're doing reading. So we purchase those for our teachers, but we've also purchased face shields for some of our students, and our teachers will know, okay, this little one needs a face shield and a mask, or just a face shield. So there's going to be ways that we could always improve that safety piece, and it's always going to be about teaching. And just like you said, as parents, what can you do to help? It's just practicing. I see a lot of little ones at the graduations, Dr. Espinoza. We've seen some cute little masks, and they're itty bitty little ones with them, and we see little ones with their masks, and they're doing a great job. It's just about teaching them and then giving them the ability to say, could I please take a face mask break? And then knowing how they could do that safely. So those are all things that we're learning from the CDC and others that put information out, and we truly value that input. I know that our principals, they're our #1 supporters of our communities. So ask. And that's what Dr. Espinoza has taught us. We're very open, as you all know.
Yeah.
If we don't have the answer, we'll definitely figure it out together, and we'll move forward.
Yeah, this right here shows that, we can be open with each other and just ask, like you said, and, we'll get some of our questions answered. So we thank you guys so much for that. One question I wanted to ask, so if the kids return back to school, are we going to allow them to do any sports for middle and high? Or how is that going to, soccer, football, the little activities for them?
Yes. I think because you broke up for a little bit there. You said sports activities?
Sports activities.
Okay. Yes. UIL, Texas UIL, they've been huddling up and delaying decisions and making a decision. So they made a decision to push sports back. If I recall the date, it's around Labor Day. And I was talking to yesterday, for example, at the Eastlake High School graduation. I was talking to the Eastlake High School football coach, and he was telling me that, we lost one game because everything's pushed back. Right now, during the summer, our students were doing their summer trainings, their summer workouts, but we shut it down. But they're doing virtual training. Our students, our athletes, they're doing virtual training. The coaches give them the training schedule that they must follow. And but let me tell you, our athletes, they're go-getters. They're ready to get back in there. Sometimes I'll see things on social media of their workouts at home or in an empty field.
Yes.
But it's pretty nice to see that they continue. But going back to what Ms. Macias said, it's a and I appreciate that question that the parent asked about the mask. It'll be challenging for some students to keep that mask on. It's even challenging for me as an adult.
Likewise.
Sometimes, I'm at the graduation at the SAC. Sometimes I have to kind of let me just get away from people. Let me get away from people, which we're always 6 feet apart. Get away, just take a little 3-second. Okay, now put it back on. It's challenging.
Yeah.
But I must say this, that we have some, Ms. Macias, Ms. Borrego as an example, we have over 6,000 employees, awesome employees we're going to do everything in our power to make sure that our employees, our children, our students are safe when they come to school. And you heard Ms. Macias and Ms. Borrego talk about some of those things in the classroom. Sometimes we'll have 35 kids in the classroom. Well, we're going to limit it to as small as possible so that they can be spread out. When the students eat breakfast, when the students eat lunch, what we're looking at doing is students, they go to the cafeteria. Not right now. The food will be brought to their classroom,
That was
where the students will eat in their classroom at the elementary level, for example. So it's kind of, if you think about it, we're going to do everything in our power to put our students in a little bubble. But the problem is this: what happens when our students, or even the adults, the employees, when they leave that bubble, when they leave that school. And that's why I cannot convey this message enough strong, that we are El Paso community. We need to do our part. What is that child doing when he goes on Saturday night? Or what are the parents doing? Are they having big get-togethers? And then they come to school, and of course the school many times will be an easy target. Oh, you picked it up at the school. We're going to do everything we can, but parents, I beg you to, not only our parents, throughout El Paso, everyone's got to do their part, wear their masks, social distance, wash their hands, so that this COVID can it continues to rise, but it continue to decrease, and hopefully one day it just goes away completely, or at least until a vaccine. I'm just asking our parents, our employees. That's one of the things I tell. Make sure we're doing everything we can in our power. The best practices, like I said earlier, the mask, social distancing, washing hands, and all that good stuff.
Yes, and that is teamwork. Teamwork, like you said, throughout all El Paso, and the parents and you all and our kids, we all have to do it together, because we're just so, it's unknown, where this is going to go. But at least if we do it together, we'll accomplish a lot more. Mm-hmm. So we will help you guys stress that out and put it out there, the little things that would help together.
Yes.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. What other questions, Michelle, did we have?
Well, he just answered the one about the
lunch. We had somebody about the lunch.
Yeah, they wanted to know if they had to bring in their own lunch, or will you be,
And no recess time, right? We won't do recess, more than likely, for them. A little bit of,
Ms. Macias, I don't know if you want to touch on recess.
The one thing that we're discussing right now is, again, they're going to be having, and this is from pre-K all the way through high school, they'll be having breakfast in the classroom. That's going to be new for our high schoolers.
Okay.
In the high school, in the classroom. And then for lunch, it's going to be pre-K through 8th grade. It's going to be in the classroom. And then for middle school, they will, because of the numbers, they will be going to different pods. Going to be limiting that recess, and again, it's going to be about teaching, and that way we're going to have it's going to be hands on deck. This year it's going to be all of us together in this, and we're going to be helping to ensure that they're following the social distancing. For example, and my team knows this, for example, you all are sitting too close to me. You're giving me hives, because technically you have to be 6 feet apart, or you need to be masked up. And and again, I do it with a kind heart, because I always say, if I keep you all healthy, you're going to keep others healthy, and you're going to keep me healthy.
Yes.
So we're learning from the CDC, and that's what we're teaching. We're going to teach our students, even though we're not watching. Please continue to do that, and just like Dr. Espinoza says, do it when you're at home, because I have my teenager at home, and she asked me to have kids over all the time, and yes, but I have the little social distancing stuff. I make sure that when they come in, that they leave our house, hopefully, COVID free from each other. I tell everybody, assume that everybody is positive at this time. That's a little scary to say, but if we assume that, then we ensure that we're practicing those protocols to keep everybody healthy. So
like it.
that we're going to continue to stress. Please help us in doing that, because that way, hopefully, El Paso will go on the downward trend. Right now, our curve continues to increase on our positive.
Yes.
And that's what we learned, like Dr. Espinoza said, from Dr. Ocaranza. It's happening in those gatherings. It's happening in our community where we're not practicing that. So please do that, because and hopefully that'll help us open up schools, because if we don't do our part in the community, they're not going to allow us to.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Such vital information. Is there anything that you can tell us, I guess, to just tell us everything's going to be okay, guys, parents, after the remote learning, I know we have the decision, or, to send them off or not, but anything you guys want to tell us just to motivate us to get our children going before we end our podcast. And you guys already said everything that we needed to hear.
Yes.
What are your thoughts overall about the COVID going away, or do you see it, or how can you just keep us in line as parents?
Well, I'll jump in, and, like I said earlier, the teachers, they got the 3 weeks to make that, actually 4 weeks to make that adjustment. Just going to be all virtual. My point with that, students across the world, just talk specifically about our country, they're falling behind.
Yeah.
Last time they were in school was in March. They missed April, May, they got June, July, August, we started virtual. So our teachers are going through trainings like they've never been through before. Normally, just to kind of give you an example, they have usually before the school starts, the teachers will come in for 1 week for training. But this year they're coming in for 2 weeks of rigorous training so that they can get better. And there's some teachers that are coming in even for additional trainings. And my point of me sharing that is that I want to let our parents know that while we are going to be doing virtual learning, and if a parent chooses that, our teachers are going to do everything in their power to make sure that they don't continue to fall behind. And not only they fall behind, but they catch them up and then beyond grade level that they should be. So I can assure our parents that our teachers, our school district will make sure that our students are getting the academic rigor that they need to be successful. And like I said, earlier with the COVID-19, I want to open up schools. But I want to open up schools if they're safe, if we have the safety procedures in place, which I am confident that we will have those safety procedures in place. But again, we respect our parents' decision. I'm a parent. I just don't feel comfortable sending my kid in. Hey, virtual learning, and they're going to get an awesome education.
Good.
Parent, I got to send my kid in. Send them in. They're going to be safe and get an awesome education. That is one thing that I just would like to stress to our amazing community.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So they have a choice. It's not, some parents think it has to be this and, but they have the choice. So,
Exactly.
okay. Well, I hope I covered everything. I'm so thankful you guys really came on with us. We're super humble and this means a lot to us and a lot of parents. So when we hang this up, we do plan on, boosting it so that everybody could get the accurate information that they need.
I appreciate let me change the subject a little bit. So how's the realtors with the COVID? I mean, the selling of homes, has it had an impact, or I'm just curious? That's a little out of my league.
Goodness. Let me tell you, Dr. Espinoza, we're super essential, right, to the market. It's just, we've never seen the market the way it is now. Sales are booming. Buyers are buying. The interest rates are hitting so low. You're looking at 2.6. So if you need to refinance, right now is the time to refinance. If you haven't. You got to it's unfortunate, with the pandemic, but sometimes we got to take advantage of the rates and what it has to offer when it comes to us paying money on our mortgage.
And the reason I asked that question is to set up this piece right here, what I'm going to say now. Well, first of all, I just see all the growth, like I said earlier, in the East Lake area and the Pebble Hills. I'm like, wow, this thing's, in my eyes, you guys are the experts. I don't see it slowing down. But I asked that question it kind of ended with this. We are an A-rated district, our school district, TEA. They came out with okay, now you're going to get an A, B, C, or D. And we also earned what the TEA called the post-secondary readiness distinction.
Yes.
Our district is the largest district in the state of Texas to earn the A and also the post-secondary readiness distinction. So, and we're also an HEB large district award winner. And that's the most, in my opinion, the most prestigious award that a district can win. HEB is a popular grocery store, and we don't have one here in El Paso. So we're not in an HEB market, and we still won it, which tells you. Tells you. So to our realtors, hey, to sell that house, you just tell them you are zoned in Socorro ISD, and that house will sell.
I'm behind SISD. I graduated from America's class of 2000.
Oh, wow.
I mean, I've been East Side. That's my territory, but I back my SISD, so I plan to support as much as I can. That was the reason for this podcast.
Thank you.
Well, we thank you guys again. Happy Friday. I hope you all stay safe. We're gonna take everything that you gave to us and work on it for you guys. Okay. Anything you guys need, we're a phone call away.
Yes.
Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Happy Friday, guys. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
I miss Matthew.